What's up, guys? I had a conversation last night with someone through an email. I was talking about pitching mechanics and stuff like that, and I got a response from somebody that said, what about guys like Jimenez, Chapman, Broxton, Bard? He said, those guys are just born with unbelievable arms, and they weren't taught to do things. They were just born to be like that, and no one else can throw that hard. You're either born with a great arm or you're not born with a great arm, and that's that. So I kind of had a conversation with them, and we started talking about things, and I thought I would make a video today about, because you hear a lot of times, whether it's a pitcher or a hitter or anything, oh, the pitcher was just born with a great arm, or those hitters, they're just born with unbelievably fast hands. And you hear that with every sport, whether it's football or boxing. You hear that guy's just got such quick, strong, powerful hands. He was born with them. And I agree that certain things people are born with. When he was talking about those pitchers, Chapman and Bard and Broxton and Jimenez, they were born with certain things that definitely help them out. They're all big guys. They're all 6'4". Some are bigger than 6'4". They all have really, really long arms. Chapman's got really long arms. Bard's a big kid, long arms. Jimenez, really long arms. Broxton doesn't have long arms, but he's big. He's almost 300 pounds. So they're big people, and they were born that way, absolutely. So do they have a little bit of an advantage over maybe a guy that's 5'9"? Absolutely. They were born with that ability to be big, to have long arms. That's something they were born with, had no control over it. But what I don't agree with is the statement from a lot of people that they were born with great arms or born with really fast hands. The way I see it is those things do help. The height helps them. It gives them extra leverage. The long arms gives them more whip. I agree with that. But one thing you'll notice when you look at the way those guys throw the ball is mechanically, a lot of the things they do are similar. And they're very different from the mechanics if you look at somebody that throws 82 miles an hour. Let's say you have a college player or a high school player that is 6'4". There's plenty of them out there. But say they throw 80 or 82. Now, they were given the height and they were given the long arms. But what you'll hear people say is, well, they just weren't given, they weren't blessed with that strong arm. That I don't believe in. I don't believe that's the case. Mechanically, they do things that these elite pitchers in the major leagues that throw 95 to 100 miles an hour, they do things differently mechanically. And that's what we're getting after. That's what I'm trying to teach kids, is that a lot of kids think it's just the arm. They focus on what's that last thing to let go of the ball. So in pitching, they think it's the arm that generates everything. In hitting, they think it's the hands that generate everything. It's those quick hands. When they watch a boxer, they think, oh, it's all about the quick hands because the hands are the thing that punches somebody. It's not about the arm or the hands. It's about the body, how the body creates all of this force that is delivered. Yes, the fingers are the last thing that deliver the ball, but it's the body and the way these guys use their bodies to create all this force when they're pitching. That's what gives them the extra velocity. That the 6'4" guy in high school that throws 82, he doesn't move his body in that manner. He's not able to create that velocity. Now, could he create it? Absolutely. But he has to be taught how to create it with his body because he doesn't do it. The second thing is, these big guys, the great pitchers, the Chapmans that throw hard, the Bards, maybe they weren't taught exactly how to throw with their body. They very possibly just, from the time they picked up a baseball, they just figured it out. They threw it and they figured out, whether it was taught to them or not, they understood somehow how to move their body in the best manner to create the most force. And maybe that was luck, whatever it is. Yeah, maybe they just had it. Maybe they were taught it, whatever the case is. But either way, if you don't have it, you can be taught how to do it. There's plenty of guys that did not throw hard, but got with really good pitching coaches and taught them how to do certain things throughout the mechanics, how to get their arm involved in the throwing action as late as possible so that the body builds up the force and the arm's the last thing to get thrown through like a whip. Same thing with hitting, teaching them how to create and how to transfer their weight, how to use their body to create all that force and that whip so the bat comes through at super high speeds. Some guys were taught how to do that, and that's what we're getting to. A lot of kids that we talk to, they want to focus everything on strictly the arm or strictly the hand. They think that, excuse me, they think that if they do a bunch of wrist curls or if they do a lot of rice bucket exercises, or the secret is a lot of dumbbell movements, or the secret is a lot of long toss. Now, absolutely, those things can help. Having strong fingers, strong grip, strong forearms, being strong, having a strong core, having your rotator cuff and your scapular and all those muscles strong and conditioned, absolutely, it's going to help you. But when I look at what's the main thing, it's mechanics. I say it all the time. I talk a lot about hitting, but it can be about pitching. You can be the strongest, most flexible, most explosive, most intelligent, all these attributes. You can be the best at everything. But if you don't know how to use your body to throw the baseball, you're not going to throw it hard. If you've got a real early handbrake, and you're getting your hand involved way too early to throw, getting your arm involved too early to throw, or if you're not leading with your hip, if you're not driving off your backside, there's a ton of things that if you're not doing, you're not going to throw hard. I don't care how big and how strong and how long your arms are and how tall you are. You can be 8 feet tall. If you don't do all that stuff right, then you're not going to throw hard. And that's what I always get back to. And a lot of people haven't been accustomed to hearing people talk about mechanics, knowing the difference between good mechanics and bad mechanics. A lot of people haven't been privileged to learning about that stuff, so they all just think you're born with it, you're not born with it. You're lucky and you got to be 6'5", and you got to be 230 pounds, or you took steroids or whatever it is, and you know what? You got lucky and that's why you throw hard. Not the case. You can teach velocity. Bottom line, and a lot of people are teaching it wrong. They're focusing on, just go out and long toss every single day and you'll have a great arm. Maybe your arm will be in good shape, but that doesn't mean velocity will come. If you could play long toss all day long, just like I always say, you can do anything you want all day long, but if you don't do it correctly, mechanically, it's not going to matter. If you're going to play long toss, you've got to make sure that you're moving your body in the right way to get that velocity, or else it's never going to come. So I just thought it was an interesting conversation. I wanted to throw it out there and just kind of let you guys know, because it's a debate I have all the time. And you can teach bat speed, you can teach throwing velocity, you can teach running speed, and it always comes back to the mechanics that the person is using to do the sport, to do the action. And then everything else, it's kind of like, your salt and your pepper and your spices, you sprinkle it in there, it makes everything better. But if you got a crappy meal, if you've got crappy mechanics, you can put whatever you want on there, and you know what? It ain't going to taste very good. So you've got to get down to the nuts and bolts of what you're doing. It comes down to mechanics all the time. You correct the mechanics, and you get the player to understand how to do it mechanically, and forget about the gimmick things, and then you take the small things and you sprinkle it in there, and that's how you build velocity, or you build bat speed, or you build a sprinter, or you build a great free throw shooter, or you build whatever it is you're building. It comes down to mechanics all the time. So that's what I got for you guys today. Hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something. Check out our website, touchemallball.com. We got a bunch of stuff just like this on there. All right, have a good day, guys.